Black Americans have the lowest marriage rates of any racial group in the United States, and yet marriage rates have declined across every racial group in America over the past 50 years, not just among Black Americans. So when we talk about Black men in marriage, are we talking about a Black problem or are we talking about an American one? In our last episode, we looked at fatherhood. We talked about father involvement, non residential fathers, and the difference between measuring where a father lives and measuring what a father actually does. Fatherhood focuses on the relationship between parent and child. This conversation focuses on the relationships between adults, marriage, long term partnerships, family formation, and the question of what makes a family stable, regardless of what it looks like from the outside. According to data from the U.S. Census Bureau, approximately 30% of Black men are currently married. That figure is lower than the marriage rate among white men and lower than marriage rates among several other demographic groups. Marriage rates among Black Americans have declined significantly since the 1960s, but they are not alone. Marriage rates have declined across every racial group in America during that same period. People are marrying later, marrying less frequently, and increasingly choosing alternative relationship structures. The median age at first marriage has increased as well. Black men who marry often do so later than previous generations. This trend mirrors broader national patterns and is frequently linked to educational attainment, career development, financial stability, and changing attitudes toward marriage itself. Long-term partnerships tell another part of the story. Many Black men are in committed relationships that do not involve legal marriage. Cohabitation has increased across the country, and long-term partnerships now represent a meaningful part of family formation in America. Marriage is one structure. It is not the only structure. Interracial marriage has increased as well. Following the Supreme Court's decision in Loving versus Virginia in 1967, interracial marriage rates have steadily risen across all racial groups. Today, a significant percentage of Black men who marry choose partners from different racial or ethnic backgrounds. Relationship formation is influenced by more than personal preference. Economic stability consistently appears as one of the strongest predictors of marriage across all demographic groups. Research shows that people are more likely to marry when they feel financially secure. Employment, income, housing, debt, and long-term economic outlook all influence relationship decisions. Family structures within Black America are also diverse. Married households, single-parent households, co-parenting arrangements, multi-generational households, extended family networks. The reality is far more varied than public conversations often acknowledge. So what do these numbers tell us? The first thing they tell us is that marriage rates are declining nationally. This is not a trend unique to Black Americans. It is part of a larger shift in how Americans approach relationships, family formation, and adulthood. The second thing the numbers tell us is that economics matter. The marriage gap between Black and white Americans closely mirrors broader economic gaps. People tend to marry when they believe they can support a household, maintain stability, and build a future. When access to those things becomes more difficult, marriage rates often decline. The incarceration data adds another layer. When large numbers of men are removed from communities through incarceration, it affects relationship formation, family stability, and the availability of potential partners in ways that extend far beyond the individuals directly involved. The long-term partnership data complicates the narrative further. Many Black men are building committed relationships, sharing homes, raising children, supporting families, planning futures. The absence of a marriage certificate does not automatically mean the absence of commitment. Marriage rates measure legal status. They do not measure relationship quality. They do not measure emotional health. They do not measure loyalty. And they do not measure love. But here is what the numbers cannot tell you. They cannot tell you about the Black man who has been with the same woman for nearly 2 decades, raised children together, built a household together, and never felt that a government document was the thing that defined their commitment. They cannot tell you about the man who fully intended to marry, but watched life interrupt those plans through financial hardship, unemployment, incarceration, illness, or circumstances he never expected. They cannot tell you about the complexity of maintaining a healthy relationship, the communication, the sacrifice, the compromise, the forgiveness, the growth, the work required to build something lasting with another person. They cannot tell you about the cultural conversations happening inside Black communities regarding marriage, partnership, gender roles, family expectations, and commitment. Those conversations are nuanced, they are evolving, and they rarely fit neatly inside demographic reports. Marriage statistics tell us who is legally married. They do not tell us who is deeply committed. They do not tell us who is emotionally available. They do not tell us who is building stable families. And they do not tell us who is trying. What the data actually shows is that Black men, like all people, are navigating relationships within a specific set of economic, cultural, and social circumstances. And those circumstances matter. Before we continue, I want to leave you with a question. What makes a family stable? Is it a legal designation, or is it consistency, commitment, and presence? And when we measure family structure, are we measuring what actually matters to the people living inside those families? Relationships, work, family responsibilities, financial pressures, expectations, all of these things carry emotional weight. And for many Black men, that weight is often carried quietly. In our next episode, we move from relationships to mental health, depression, anxiety, therapy, emotional wellness, and the question of what emotional strength actually means, and what it costs when strength becomes the only acceptable option. This series is designed to encourage understanding, not agreement. The statistics discussed in this episode and the sources used to obtain them are available below. If this conversation made you think differently about the topic, continue with episode 8 as we explore the next chapter in the story, because understanding begins long before conclusions do.